I never thought a simple creak in the middle of the night would lead me to a truth that would tear my world apart. At first, it was nothing unusual. An old house like ours always made strange sounds, wood expanding, wind pushing against windows, or pipes groaning. But this night felt different. I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, when I heard it, a soft dragging sound, almost like furniture being moved. The sound didn't come from the living room or the kitchen. It came from the walls themselves. I sat up, holding my breath, ears straining. At first, I told myself it was just my imagination, the way silence sometimes plays tricks on you. But then I heard it again, longer this time, and followed by a faint thud. My heart started racing. There was no mistaking it. The noise was inside the house. And not just anywhere. It was coming from the wall behind my parents' room. The thought made me freeze. What could possibly be behind that wall? I had lived in this house for years, and as far as I knew, there was nothing but bricks and wood. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was hidden there. Something they never wanted me to find. I decided to investigate the next day. Sleep didn't come easily that night. My mind kept replaying the sound, over and over, until it blended with the darkness around me. When the morning finally came, I forced myself to act as normal as possible. My mother was humming in the kitchen, my father reading the newspaper, both of them so ordinary, so calm. And yet, behind those calm faces, I began to wonder what secrets they were keeping from me. Later that afternoon, while they were out in the garden, I slipped into their room. I stood quietly, listening, half expecting the noises to return. The air felt heavy, stale, like it carried something unsaid. My eyes scanned the walls, the furniture, every corner, searching for what didn't belong. Then I noticed it. The wallpaper near the far side of the wall didn't quite match. Just a slight discoloration, barely noticeable unless you were looking closely. My fingers trembled as I touched it. To my shock, the wallpaper peeled back just slightly at the edge. My pulse quickened. I pressed harder, and suddenly part of the wall shifted with a faint creak. It wasn't a wall at all. It was a hidden door. I pulled back, my entire body shaking. Questions flooded my mind. Why would my parents hide a door? What could they possibly be keeping inside? My first thought was something harmless, like old family belongings or valuables. But then I remembered the sound I had heard last night, dragging, thudding, movement. My blood ran cold. I wanted to open it right then, but fear held me back. What if they caught me? What if what was inside was something I couldn't handle? So, I did the only thing I could. I pretended nothing happened. For the next few days, I went about my life like normal, but inside I was crumbling. Every smile my mother gave me, every word my father spoke felt like a lie. And every night, I lay awake, listening, waiting for the sounds to return. And they did. On the fourth night, I heard voices. Whispering, low and urgent, muffled by the wall. I pressed my ear against it, straining to make out the words. At first, I thought it was just my parents talking. But no, there was a third voice. One I didn't recognize. A voice that didn't belong in our house. My skin prickled with dread. The whispers grew louder, more frantic. And then came something I will never forget, the sound of crying. Soft, desperate, muffled sobs echoing from behind that secret wall. My breath caught in my throat. Someone was back there. Someone hidden, locked away in that secret room. Sleep was impossible after that. I knew I had to go in, no matter what waited for me. My heart screamed at me to stop, to leave it alone, but my curiosity was stronger. Or maybe it was something else, fear mixed with anger. Because the more I thought about it, the more I realized, my parents weren't the people I thought they were. They had been hiding something from me my entire life. And now, I was about to uncover it. The next morning, I planned carefully. I waited until they both left for town, pretending I was staying home to study. The moment the door closed behind them, I ran straight to their room, pulled the wallpaper aside, and pushed on the hidden door. The wood groaned as it gave way, and a rush of stale air hit me, thick and suffocating. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The room was dark. Pitch black. The kind of darkness that felt alive, wrapping around you, pulling you in. I fumbled for my phone, turning on the flashlight, and as the beam cut through the blackness, I froze. There, sitting in the corner, was a figure. Small, frail, trembling. Their eyes squinted against the sudden light, and then I saw it, tears streaming down their face, lips trembling as if they hadn't spoken in years. My chest tightened, my throat went dry. I wanted to speak, to ask who they were, but no words came out. Before I could make a sound, the figure whispered, barely audible, but enough to send chills down my spine. "They'll kill me if they know you've found me." My breath caught in my throat as those words echoed through the small, suffocating space. "They'll kill me if they know you've found me." The whisper was so fragile, so full of terror, that it froze me in place. For a moment, all I could do was stare at the trembling figure huddled in the corner of that hidden room. The air smelled of damp wood, old dust, and something else, fear itself. I forced myself to step closer, my phone light trembling in my hand. The figure shifted, revealing a young woman, her clothes tattered and skin pale, as if she hadn't seen sunlight in years. Her eyes, though sunken, held a flicker of life. She looked straight at me, pleading silently. My stomach turned, my mind racing to make sense of it all. Who was she? Why was she here? And most terrifying of all, why were my parents hiding her? I tried to speak, my voice catching in my throat. Finally, I managed to whisper, "Who are you?" Her lips trembled. For a long moment, she didn't answer, as if she was afraid the walls themselves would hear her. Then, in a voice hoarse and broken, she said, "My name doesn't matter. What matters is that you shouldn't be here. If they find you with me, they'll never let you leave." Her words sent a chill racing down my spine. My parents, my loving, ordinary parents, what could they possibly have to do with this? I wanted to deny it, to push the thought away, but deep down I already knew. The pieces were clicking together, the strange noises, the whispers, the muffled crying. It all made sense now. I crouched down, trying to steady my voice. "Listen, I won't tell anyone. But you have to tell me, why are you here? What have they done to you?" She shook her head violently, her eyes darting toward the door as if expecting someone to burst in. "I can't. If they know I spoke to you, I'm dead. And maybe you too." My pulse thundered in my ears. Fear tangled with anger, boiling inside me. My parents, the people who raised me, who tucked me into bed at night, who smiled at me every morning, what kind of monsters were they really? I reached out slowly, placing my hand on hers. It was cold, trembling. She flinched at first, then relaxed just enough to whisper again. "Please. Don't come back. Forget you saw me. Live your life and leave me here." Leave her here? That was impossible. I couldn't unsee this. I couldn't pretend nothing was wrong. The image of her fragile body, the desperation in her voice, it would haunt me forever if I walked away. But I also knew she was right. If my parents returned and found me here, the consequences would be unimaginable. I pulled my hand back reluctantly, my mind spinning. I stood up, my flashlight sweeping across the room. There was almost nothing inside. A thin mattress on the floor, a bucket in the corner, a single blanket folded neatly. The walls were scratched, faint lines etched into the wood as if she had clawed at them in moments of despair. My chest tightened. No human being should live like this. Finally, I whispered, "I'll come back. I'll help you. I swear." Her eyes widened with fear, but before she could respond, I turned and slipped out of the room, closing the hidden door behind me as quietly as possible. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would give me away. I pressed the wallpaper back into place, praying it looked untouched, then rushed out of my parents' room. That night, I couldn't eat. I couldn't even look at them. My mother's gentle smile, my father's casual questions, they felt like knives twisting in my chest. Were they really capable of such cruelty? Or was I missing something? As I lay in bed, I kept replaying the woman's words in my mind. They'll kill me if they know you've found me. Kill her? Kill me? What had I stumbled into? The days that followed were unbearable. Every time my parents left the house, I felt the pull to go back to the hidden room. But fear held me in place. What if she was right? What if being near her only put us both in danger? Still, the thought of her trapped in that darkness, with no hope, gnawed at me until I couldn't take it anymore. On the fifth night after discovering her, I made my decision. I waited until my parents went to bed, their room falling silent. I crept down the hall, each step heavy with dread. My hands shook as I pushed the wallpaper aside and opened the secret door once more. She was there, just as before, her eyes glistening in the faint light. This time, she didn't flinch when she saw me. Instead, she whispered, almost with relief, "You came back." I nodded, kneeling beside her. "I told you I would. Please, tell me what's going on. I need to understand." She looked away, her jaw trembling, as if deciding whether to trust me. Finally, she spoke, her voice cracking. "They're not who you think they are. Your parents, they're not just hiding me. They're hiding everything. They're not the people you believe they are. You don't even know half of what they've done." Her words hit me like a hammer. My stomach churned, my mouth dry. I wanted to demand answers, but before I could, the sound of footsteps echoed faintly through the hall outside. Heavy, deliberate, getting closer. Her eyes widened in terror. She grabbed my hand tightly, squeezing until it hurt. "Go. Please, go now. If they see you here, it's over." My blood ran cold. The footsteps grew louder. My parents weren't supposed to be awake. My heart pounded as I scrambled to my feet, fumbling for the door. I slipped out, pulling it closed behind me, pressing the wallpaper back as fast as I could. I stumbled into the hallway, rushing toward my room just as the floorboards creaked under someone else's weight. I barely made it, diving under my covers, forcing my breathing to slow. My door creaked open. Through my half-closed eyes, I saw the silhouette of my father standing there, his shadow long and ominous against the wall. He lingered for a moment, as if studying me, before finally stepping back and closing the door. I lay frozen, every muscle stiff with fear. Did he know? Had he seen me? Sleep never came. By morning, I knew one thing for certain. This wasn't just about a secret room anymore. This was about survival. And if I wanted to uncover the truth, I had to be smarter. I had to play along, pretend I knew nothing, while finding a way to set her free. But deep down, one question was eating me alive. If my parents were capable of hiding a living, breathing person in our house, what else were they capable of? The morning after my father's shadow lingered in my doorway, I woke with a cold sweat, my chest tight, as though the air itself was suffocating me. At breakfast, my parents were silent, exchanging brief glances, and I couldn't shake the feeling that they knew. Maybe they knew I'd found the room. Maybe they knew I'd spoken to her. Every bite of food tasted like ash, and every second in their presence felt like I was sitting across from strangers. I played my role carefully, pretending to smile, to laugh at my mother's small jokes, to nod at my father's questions. But inside, I was unraveling. I couldn't live like this, pretending while knowing someone was suffering just a few feet away, locked behind that wall. That night, as the house fell silent, I made my decision. No more waiting. No more pretending. I would set her free, no matter the cost. I crept into their room again, every step echoing louder in my mind than it really was. My hands shook as I pushed the hidden door open. She was waiting, her eyes wide with both fear and hope. When she saw me, she whispered, "You shouldn't have come back. They'll kill us both." I knelt beside her, gripping her shoulders. "I can't leave you here. Tell me the truth. Who are you? Why are they doing this?" Her lips quivered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I was like you once. I trusted them. I thought they were good people. But I was wrong. I found out things I wasn't supposed to know. Things about who they really are, about the people they hurt. They locked me here to keep me quiet. And if you're not careful, they'll do the same to you. Her words hit me like ice. My whole life suddenly felt like a lie. Every smile, every bedtime story, every "we love you" rang hollow in my ears. I whispered, "We'll leave tonight. Both of us. They'll never know." But even as I said it, the floorboards above us creaked. The sound of slow, deliberate footsteps echoed down the hall. My stomach twisted. We froze. The doorknob of the hidden door rattled. I turned off my flashlight, plunging us into darkness. My heart pounded so loud I was sure they could hear it. For a moment, silence stretched so long it felt like the world had stopped. Then, slowly, the rattling stopped too. The footsteps retreated. We stayed frozen until the house fell silent again. Finally, I whispered, "We have to go. Now." I pulled her up, her frail body trembling as I guided her out of the room. Every creak of the floorboards felt like a gunshot in the quiet house. We moved quickly, down the hallway, toward the front door. My hands fumbled with the lock, slick with sweat. And then I heard it. My father's voice, low and sharp behind us. "Where do you think you're going?" I froze, my blood turning to ice. Slowly, I turned to see both of them standing there, my father with a cold, unreadable stare, my mother's face twisted into something I had never seen before. Not love. Not warmth. But something darker. "Put her back," my mother hissed. "Now." I stepped in front of the woman, shielding her. "No. I'm not letting you hurt her anymore. I know what you've done." My father's lips curved into a chilling smile. "You think you know. But you don't. You're just a child. This doesn't concern you." Anger surged through me, stronger than fear. "It does concern me. You've been lying to me my whole life. Whatever secrets you're hiding, it ends now." For a moment, the room was silent, heavy with tension. Then my father stepped closer, his voice low. "You've made a mistake. You should have left the door closed." He lunged forward, but before he could grab me, I shoved the door open and pulled her outside. We ran, barefoot on the cold ground, my lungs burning, heart racing. Behind us, I heard my parents shouting, their footsteps pounding after us. The night air was sharp against my skin as we tore across the yard, into the darkness beyond. The woman stumbled, but I held her up, refusing to let go. Finally, we reached the road, a single car's headlights approaching in the distance. I waved frantically, tears streaming down my face. The car screeched to a halt, and a man jumped out, confusion etched on his face. "What's going on?" "Please," I gasped. "Help us. They're going to kill us." Behind me, I saw my parents at the edge of the yard, their faces shadowed, their bodies still. For the first time, I saw them for what they truly were, not parents, not protectors, but predators who had fooled me my whole life. The driver helped us into the car, slamming the door as he sped away. My chest heaved with relief, but also with grief. Because in that moment, I knew nothing would ever be the same. I glanced at the woman beside me, her eyes glistening with tears of freedom. She whispered, "You saved me." But as the car carried us further from the house, my own tears fell harder. Because I realized that while I had saved her, I had lost everything I thought I knew. My family, my home, my innocence, it was all gone. And in its place was something new. Not just pain. Not just betrayal. But a fire burning deep inside me. A need for justice. A need for revenge. They thought they could bury their secrets forever. But now, I was the one who knew the truth. And I was going to make sure they paid for it.